What's up? Welcome to today's video. Welcome back to my channel. I know I only have a few nails left. It's fine. I am allergic to nail glue, so I'm going to just go ahead and call it a loss. Anyways, today we're going to be doing the first episode of a brand new series that I've been working on called Deep Dives in Makeup Times. And we're going to be covering Dramageddon 1. And I have filmed this series probably 5 times, and I've deleted it because I just have not liked the outcome of the product. However, recently I took about a week and a half off from filming to do a mental health break, and I am back. And in that 1 week and a half, I actually researched the first 4 episodes, and I have the first 4 episodes planned out. So I'm pretty happy about that. So I'm going to get ready, and we are going to talk about Dramageddon. I want to go ahead and cite the 2 channels that I used. I used Smoky Glow's Internet History in Dramageddon 1, and I also combined it with some information I got from Angelica Oll's video on Dramageddon 1. So if I remember to, I will link those 2 channels and their videos down below. But if I forget, just remind me in the comment section below. I have absolutely no problem giving credit where credit is due. It was the first of its kind, and it had so many different influencers involved back in 2018. The difference between Manny and Jeffrey's social media-wise, Manny was actually seen at this time as like a social climber, and Jeffrey had like the racist and problematic past, but he seemed more genuine when it came to like products. And he still is. Like, I will give him credit. He still is. As stated before, like, Jeffrey can't be bought because he stated it before, he can't be bought. Let me go ahead and elaborate on that, what I mean by Jeffrey can't be bought. So Jeffree Star has a cosmetics line, and if you didn't know, Dramageddon 1 actually involves Jeffree Star, Nikita Dragun, Laura Lee, Manny MUA, and Gabriel Zamora. So Jeffree Star owns a cosmetics company called Jeffree Star Cosmetics. It's still available to this day. It's very polarizing. I use it on my channel. I'm using one product from Jeffree Star Cosmetics today. But basically what he's saying is that like he has made his money from like his music, because he used to be into music. My sister said that she used to listen to Jeffree Star back when she was in high school, but he was a little edgy for her. So, and my sister's like a hardcore rock. Like, my niece's middle name is Rose, as in Guns N' Roses, which I think is super cute. I definitely think that she needs to like tweet the band on that, because I think that is so cute. That like that is my sister's favorite band, and I believe my parents actually went searching for like a onesie that had Guns N' Roses on it back when my niece was like a little tiny peanut and didn't have a gender that we could tell yet. So that's a cute little side note, just for like context on some different things, like what I mean. So basically, like, that's what it means, is that like he said that he made his money and he can't be bought, which is why I actually do trust Jeffree Star when it comes to other products. Like, I do think that he is very genuine in that aspect. His products are becoming very hit or miss for me personally. Like, from the Psychedelic Circus collection and on, I haven't really been a big fan of his products. I think the biggest thing that I've been the biggest fan of was the Magic Candy liquid blushes, and when he released those with the Cotton Candy Queen collection, he actually didn't have a pink, and that was what was surprising to me, because with the Barbie movie coming out at that time, I figured he would have had a pink, but he does now. So, case closed. Let's move on to the next bulletin point I wrote. So Manny had brought in Laura Lee, while Jeffrey brought in Nikita Dragun, and Nikita Dragun then brought in Gabriel Zamora into the group. So that is like what happened. And like I said, I'm citing all of this from researching Hannah and Angelica Oll's videos, as well as some drama videos I found on the topic. Most notably, Here for the Tea is who I will quote, even though I don't think Here for the Tea was a great person. I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but like everything that has came out about her, I just think that the community in and of itself was a little dark and toxic. So I guess you can give her a little credit on that, but I do have to give her the credit of she exposed the affiliate program, which we are going to be talking about like later on. So my question was like, were these people ever truly friends? They worked within the same social media group. So obviously they had a lot in common and it was mutually beneficial for everyone involved to have a friendship. But could the friendship itself have been played up on social media for that exact reason? Because at the time, the fans were loving and eating up this friendship. Even though Jeffree Star, this was before the Shane Dawson series. So Jeffree wasn't really seen in the absolute best light because of his racist past, which we had spoken a little bit about. And I do have a Jeffree Star episode in this series planned. If you guys are curious about that, I do have it planned. I have not done research on it or even wrote out the script like I have for this one. So definitely something that is coming. I'm very proud of the script that I have wrote for the first 4 episodes. So this is probably going to go up sooner rather than later. The real tea in this is that Manny and Laura had allegedly got help from Jeffree Star when it came to creating Lunar Beauty, which is owned by Manny and UA, and Laura Lee Los Angeles, obviously owned by Laura Lee. It's only been confirmed by Jeffree Star, and I wrote cite Marlena Stell helping Jaclyn Hill with her brand due to their friendship. So obviously we all know about the Marlena Stell makeup geek helping out Jaclyn Hill when it came to Jaclyn wanting to start her own makeup brand. I do have an episode on Jaclyn Hill, so we will talk about Jaclyn Hill in a future episode. But basically, I wanted to give context of like, so if you can't really imagine it, just imagine Marlena Stell helping Jaclyn Hill, and that's basically the same thing. Jeffree Star was in Marlena Stell's position where he had a very successful makeup company and he had friends, like Marlena had a friend in Jaclyn who wanted to start their own business, so he gave help such as contacts and stuff like that, I would imagine. I know people are throwing around that he invested in their brand. I don't think personally he invested in their brand. I think that he gave them contacts. So in late 2017 starts the breakup, and I wrote in parentheses November. The first 7 minutes of this video is literally just to give a little bit of context on the situation of the friend group and how, like, again, I want to cite back how beneficial it was for them to be friends, which is why I was throwing out there, like, does anybody nowadays think that they were actually like really close friends, or was it just something that was beneficial and then something happened where one was pissed off, whatever? Like, let's just talk about that in the description. Let's talk about that in the comment section. Of course, keep it nice. So November 2017 rounds Jeffree Star's birthday, and no one within the friend group, which we're talking about Laura Lee, Manny, Nikita, and Gabriel, had actually wished him a happy birthday publicly. However, around this time, Manny wished a random fan happy birthday, and fans had come at Manny and Laura for not saying happy birthday to their friend Jeffree Star, speculating that this was done to make Jeffree Star feel like shit on his birthday. So basically, it's speculated that Manny had said happy birthday to a fan, and fans had came at Manny. And I remember Manny saying, oh, just because I didn't wish him a happy birthday publicly doesn't mean I didn't wish him a happy birthday privately. And then Jeffree Star had like came out against that and been like, he didn't though. But basically it was thought that they wanted Jeffree Star to feel bad on his birthday because they were wishing a random person on the internet happy birthday and not him. And Jeffree Star had wildly shaded Laura Lee around the same time, stating that her soul is pure evil. Now, of course, we know more about Jeffree Star nowadays, back like in 2023, than we did back then. So I don't want to be like the bearer of bad news or the worst news possible, but side note, Jeffree Star is not the greatest person. But I can also, like, I don't know, like, I have followed Laura for years. I still subscribe to her. I don't really watch her videos anymore. I like her podcast with Manny. I think that that's very entertaining. But even when she's in that, like, calming, like, aesthetic of, like, podcasting, I don't know if this is everybody. But even when she, like, is podcasting with Manny, like, I don't know, she just gives off major bitch vibes. So I don't know if this is everybody else, if it's just me feeling that way, but personally, I just feel she gives off, you know, bitch vibes. So I'm more inclined, and like this is like that's not that's just literally my personal observation. So don't come at me. I am literally subscribed to Laura Lee. I purchased Laura Lee like Los Angeles cosmetics. So I wrote down after subtweeting about Laura being evil, Jeffrey and Laura had unfollowed each other. So I don't really know like what entirely went on there. I'm not gonna lie, back in 2018, I wasn't really invested in this friend group. I was not a follower of Manny. I knew who Jeffree Star was because of his cosmetics line. I did not know Nikita Dragon, and I didn't know Gabriel Zamora. But at this time, I had actually already found Laura Lee and followed her. So I was also like never on Twitter, so I was never like as invested as what other people within the community seem to have been in this friendship. So if you were there at the time and you interacted in this or you remember it happening, let us have a discussion in the comment section very politely. Remember, I reserve the right on my YouTube channel to delete your comment if it sounds rude, because the internet is forever. Thomas Halbert enters the picture here for a bit. He's not really, in the grand scheme of things, like that big in the whole situation, but in this part he is. So he subtweets Laura as she had a brief collab that she did, and Jeffree Star unblocked them and responds being shady. I don't remember this, but I think Angelica Oles or Hannah talked about it in her video. I could not find the tweet of collab, but let me know if you know. What I think is still so crazy is that here we are sitting in 2023, and it is still wildly unknown as to why the group stopped being friends. I mean, it's a site. Manny and Laura are still friends. And like I said, they have that podcast together, and they just recently collabed their brands, Lunar Beauty and Laura Lee Los Angeles. Just recently collabed on a makeup collection, which I actually own the lipsticks too, and I like the packaging. I like the formula. The colors just like weren't really for me, but I lusted so hard after these lipsticks. I'm not getting rid of them. Like, I wanted these so bad. And, like, they seem to still be friends with Gabriel Zamora. Like, I think they fell off and then came back because Gabriel was on their podcast, because I do listen to their podcast. So I know he was on their podcast. I don't think it was recently, but I remember he was on their podcast. And possibly Nikita Dragon. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on with Nikita Dragon in 2023. Let me know if you know. We can add it. And, yeah, like they've talked about Nikita on their podcast. Like I specifically remember Manny saying like we don't know what's going on, but like we wish her the best. So like I remember they did do that. Okay, so flash forward to April of 2018. So around 6-ish months after the public breakup happens, Manny had posted about seeing an old friend's nudes, and this was around the time that Nate, who was the boyfriend of Jeffree Star at the time, but is now his current ex. He had his nudes were making rounds on all sorts of social media platforms, and Jeffree Star was like really upset about this. Stories were going around that Jeffree was being cheated on by Nate, and Jeffree responds to Manny's tweet by dropping the name of Manny's upcoming palette, Life's Drag. So Jeffree had actually leaked the name. There's a lot of, I think a lot of people actually have a lot of issues with it because apparently, like, I don't know, like, I feel like there's always been rumors that Jeffree Star was being, like, Nate was cheating on Jeffree Star. I feel like there was always rumors about that. I mean, like, you can't convert someone's sexuality. I know, I actually have the original Life's a Drag palette. Manny has actually since revamped that palette, but I have the original, and Manny's Life's a Drag palette was actually the first thing I have ever purchased from any influencer brand whatsoever. So that was like my first experience. So, side note, I had a very positive experience. I've always had a good experience pouring from Lunar Beauty. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so April of 2018. So we are still in April of 2018. It is apparent that Jeffree Star and the friend group, like they had been apparent. Bleh. It was apparent that Jeffree Star was dumped by the friend group due to a collab posted by the four friends. Jeffree Star for by the four sans Jeffree Star for the four channels. Oh, how times have changed, as no one would care about this now. And possibly shading in the videos. Little shading, nothing crazy is what I wrote. So apparently, like, there was like a little bit of shading going on in these videos, but like not really, I don't think. So the whole thing was that Manny, Laura, Gabriel, and Nikita had did like a four-way collab, and they each posted on each other's channels. But Jeffree Star was like obviously noticeably like gone, absent, and fans at this time had picked up on that. And what I wrote was like how times have changed, because I don't think people will care. Not about, like, I'm not saying that, oh, I don't think people would care about Jeffree Star being dumped by his friends. That's not what I'm saying. I just think that, like, no one would really notice if a specific group of friends collabed and one was missing. Like, social media has really changed with the entrance of the Gen Z, and also the beauty community itself has changed. I had used the Kylie Jenner Calm Before the Storm palette for a couple of shades in that, or for a couple of shades of this look. I bet you didn't, because nobody would be buying Kylie cosmetics nowadays, but back then they were. So I wrote down Dramageddon 1 marks the entrance of Shane Dawson into the beauty community. The main players were Jeffree Star, Manny MUA, Laura Lee, Nikita Dragun, Gabriel Zamora, and Shane Dawson. Although I don't really, like, knowing what we know now about Shane Dawson, I don't really like count him, but then I do. He wasn't really in the beauty community. We're going to talk about Shane Dawson in the next two episodes of this when I cover Dramageddon 2 and Dramageddon 3. But I definitely, like, if you're going to follow the series, I want to cite Shane Dawson because he plays a majority role in the next two. So I definitely think that it is worth it to cite that it started here. We are flash forwarding again to August 1st of 2018. The Shane Dawson documentary starts, and it started with the secret world of Jeffree Star. Shane had this amazing reputation on YouTube at the time, and I mean, it's crazy to think about now, but he had a great reputation at the time within YouTube, and it helped fix Jeffree's career. It has over 50 million views, which, like, is so extremely crazy. I can't talk and do winged eyeliner, and this is also the first time I'm trying this eyeliner. I want to give it a fair shot, so I'll be right back. I did do one wing. I'm gonna do the other one off camera as well, but I wanted to come back and give you another bulletin I wrote. So we are finally at it. The tweet that started it all, 18 minutes in. The tweet that started it all. It was on a NARS brand trip. Gabriel Zamora had posted a picture of all four of the friends flipping off the camera, and the caption said, "Bitch is bitter because without him we're doing better." And it was in reference to Jeffree Star, who had recently left the friend group, as we had just discussed. Although it had been confirmed, the picture was done as an attempt to recreate Kylie Jenner, there she is, birthday photo with she and her sisters are iconically flipping off the camera. I just want to go ahead and say I have so much to say about this. So it was a NARS brand trip. Manny and Laura had actually talked about this on their podcast because they had done an episode on Dramageddon, and they were just basically talking about how they were social climbers, shit like that. So it really wasn't like a deep dive into it, but they said that they have not been invited back on brand trips since, and I can see why, because it was probably a bad look for NARS at the time. No, I'm having issues with this. It's super dry. I feel the line on my lid. We'll talk about this once I've tested it out more in my November 2023 speed reviews. So anyways, the picture was seen as bullying, which is why it was seen as bad thing for NARS, because it was bullying. A lot of people had saw it as unprovoked. This was posted after a part in Shane Dawson's series where Jeffree talks about how toxic the beauty community is, and also talks about how he had friends who had dumped him, backstabbed him, and used him. Jeffree Star didn't say exactly who it was, that it was Gabriel Zamora, Manny MUA, Laura Lee, or Nikita Dragun. But the clip shown over it, him talking about it, about people using him, was a clip of Jeffree Star hanging out with Gabriel Zamora, Nikita Dragun, Laura Lee, and Manny MUA. And Jeffree didn't do the editing in Shane's video, I know, but he probably had control over some things and more than likely seen and approved the finished product before it was posted, which is stating that he had approved their clip of Manny, Laura, Nikita, and Gabriel and Jeffree over him talking about people using him. So that was like maybe his subtle way of confirming it. With that kind of like information, you can kind of see why it might have been seen as bullying by some people, because some people were kind of like, well, he just outed your friends and you as like using him, so now you're coming at him because of it, and we're gonna bully him into fixing it, like that kind of thing. So that's what I think it was kind of like more about. So the friend group was starting to get a lot of heat as a result of the Shane Doc and Jeffree Star's redemption era, and could have been a catalyst for the picture and tweet. People quickly jumped to attack the friend group, citing Manny and Nikita both liked the photo. However, I can't find confirmation if Laura ever truly did. I don't think she did, but I can't find confirmation on that. And the change in the viewers' support to support Jeffree Star at the time of the photo being posted and the Shane documentary. So basically, like, the shift was real. So it went from people not liking Jeffree Star and not liking people who collaborated with him to why don't you support Jeffree Star after the Shane Dawson docu-series. And that is why we call this the Jeffree Star redemption era. And I really strongly want to say, if you plan to watch the next 2 episodes of this where we cover Dramageddon 2 and Dramageddon 3, I definitely want to cite here Jeffree Star's redemption era, because of the redemption era that Shane Dawson really gave him, I think was a catalyst for Dramageddon 2 and 3. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that at the end of the video. But it was highly known that Gabriel Zamora was talking about Jeffree Star. It was posted and everybody went to bed. So the tweet had time to fester in the fans' minds, and that's why we have so many copies of said tweet since it was up for so long. So like, if you are curious about it, you can go and find this tweet still to this day. There are so many copies, pictures, screenshots of this tweet. I've been watching a lot of Knuckle Bumps Farms around the time that I wrote this script. So Emmanuel Lopez really got me. So you'll see what I mean. My next thing that I wrote was Gabriel wakes up and chooses violence. That's where that came from. He tweets, imagine standing a racist I could never at 8/12/2018, 8:37 a.m. Gabriel also continued tweeting against Jeffree Star as a racist and defending his original tweet. This all happened on a brand trip. Nikita called Gabriel and told him about the heat of the tweets. The 4 of them went to a pool party on the brand trip, and that's where it was found out about the old tweets were being brought up from them being racist. So Laura and Gabriel had both said the N-word in tweets. Nikita had made comments regarding children, which I am a mom, so I don't feel comfortable repeating them. And Manny had apparently made comments about his Uber driver not speaking English, and there was an instance between him and Jeffree Star regarding a fan, and the fan thought Manny was laughing and making fun of them. So all around, it didn't look good for them. Like, it just didn't look good. Of course, like, I don't think that, like, Gabriel thought that making that tweet was really going to get them the heat. I don't really know what Gabriel thought doing that. I think that, like, he might have been a little maybe under the influence of some alcohol. I'm not gonna lie. It's not an excuse, but that's just me thinking. Laura had gone on private on Twitter. She probably wanted to delete tweets and go back and delete the old tweets, but it actually led to a lot of fake tweets coming out, and we are still unable to confirm some of them because, again, like, she probably went back and deleted tweets, so we really don't know what was said. But I remember, even though I didn't really watch it at the time. I remember when this was happening because I was Laura Lee's fan. So when I saw like some drama was popping up on my like For You recommendations on YouTube, I was like, what the heck's going on? And that she was on Twitter and she was private and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm not on Twitter, so I don't even know what that means. The general consensus is that Laura had said something unfavorable, and that was the reason she went private, because she had to go back and delete them. So even though we can't confirm some of them, maybe some of them are fake, maybe some of them aren't, who knows? But that's the general consensus, is that she had said something and she went and deleted it. Gabriel decided to delete the original photo, and he states this for Laura's sake. And I remember in Laura's original apology video, she said her niece Erin was jumped as a result of her involvement, which, can I be honest, like, y'all, we don't need to come for children. We don't need to come for children. We just don't. I think that if that is true, which I don't know if it is or isn't, it's just something I think I remember. And the original apology video, it's horrible. I watched it when it came out because, like I said, I was a fan of Laura Lee. I didn't really know what was going on, but I just remember being like, this is crazy. And it's actually one of the worst apology videos on YouTube. You can actually still find it to this day. I haven't watched it, like I said, since 2018, I think is when this all happened. Yeah, 20. I'm literally doing a video on this and I'm like trying to focus on other stuff, like doing my makeup at 5 o'clock in the afternoon because I'm late. I'm not late for anything. I'm not doing anything. I wanted to film this video and it ended up getting filmed later than what I planned. But after the brand trip, I believe Manny stated on his podcast that they had never been invited back to the brand trip with said brand. As a result, on way home, Manny has started leading a PR move on how to get out of the situation. So like I said, I'm pretty sure they've never been on another NARS brand trip. That sucks, but I mean, NARS isn't really a it brand anymore, so I guess that's kind of it. Manny, Laura, and Nikita wanted Gabriel to fall on the sword and take full responsibility, citing that Gabriel at the time had the least amount of subs out of the four, so they really wanted him to take the fall for it and basically get them out of it. This was taken from Gabriel Zamora's My Truth video. It is still up. I will link it in the description box. If I forget, just remind me. I don't have any problem giving credit where credit is due. But Gabriel said that Manny had actually said that Gabriel was to apologize first, then Nikita, then Laura, then Manny. And it was meant to coordinate and fix each other's mistakes. So Gabriel speaks in his My Truth video about how he feels his friends were trying to throw him under the bus. Manny had publicly responded to Gabriel, deleting the photo, saying thank you for deleting it, and he tried to say he didn't actually know what he was liking. But a lot of people said social media is your job, so you have to know. I didn't even realize this wasn't filming. So Gabriel felt his feelings were being his friends were being fake, as while he did admit his feelings publicly, he said his friends agreed with him privately. He felt it was unfair that he was being punished when he wasn't the only one who had this opinion. They all did. So Gabriel had released a Notes app apology, which I had heard that this was actually very standard for the time. Like I said, I wasn't really into the community, the drama community at the time, but now I can find it entertaining from time to time. I only really watch T-Spill. There's another one that I can't think the name of. Bill Slash, I think. And I watched Dustin Daly and Nick Snyder. Laura Lee's iconic video came after Gabriel's. Apparently, she couldn't wait. And like I said, it's in history. Manny put out a video to the fan that thought he was making fun of her, and he basically apologized. Nikita posted a Snapchat story, and I literally put the laughing emoji next to this because I cannot believe that she posted a Snapchat story, didn't even address anything, and got basically away with it, which we're going to talk about again at the end of the video. Jeffree Star had stayed silent on most things, but he did post a Snapchat story where he was just maniacally laughing in his mansion. And I want to take a note for a second because this, in retrospect, it's not really that surprising because Jeffree Star has always been here, let me drop this bomb right here, and then he went off and was silent, and he's like, let me let this fester on the internet for a little bit, then I'll come back. So like that didn't really surprise me. Jeffree Star posted a video of him crying as Gabriel had reached out to him privately after the My Truth video. Media outlets were covering this. Everyone was losing tons of subs, and this is when, like I said, Gabriel Zamora's My Truth video had actually dropped. Manny had tweeted against Gabriel, saying that Gabriel was a bad friend, and he's like, what did I? Okay, so he responded to a fan saying, "Trust me, it's been an eye-opening 24 hours." And this is a tweet that Gabriel is responding to, stating that Manny is a bad friend. It's because of basically the whole context of the situation, and then stating that it's been an eye-opening 24 hours. Forward in time just a little bit. After the My Truth video, it shifted from Manny to Manny MUA being a horrible person and a social climber, and we're going to cite the Jen Gerard situation here, which is going to come up in a future episode. But basically, Jen Gerard had let Manny stay at her house for like a little bit, and because he had nowhere to go, and he had posted a video of her on his Snapchat story talking about Karina Kaboom and stating that Jen Gerard said that Karina Kaboom was an ugly person, and it was taken out of context and without Jen Gerard's knowledge, and it started a whole other mess of drama. So I'm citing that with the Manny because I am blaming Manny for that. Manny and Laura have both admitted to being way too focused on growing on social media to become massive YouTubers. So like I am glad that they admitted their mistakes, and like again we're going to talk about that later. Video was huge. The My Truth video was giant. You can still watch it, and it was huge. So before the My Truth video, both Manny and Laura were over 5 million subscribers, and then went below 5 million subscribers after the My Truth video. Laura lost her discount code with Morphe. I'm going to cite future Laura. I watched her declutters. She had decluttered Morphe palettes and says that they don't support her, so she doesn't support them. Fair enough, that it's her choice. She also was supposed to have her brand in Ulta, and she lost that. She was in BoxyCharm, and it resulted in the BoxyCharm CEO making a statement. I remember that because I actually had BoxyCharm at the time, and that's where I got my first Laura Lee Los Angeles product, was through BoxyCharm. As a brand owner, it was really big to be in BoxyCharm at that time because of that, because you were open to so many people being able to try your products. And I'm definitely going to say Laura Lee probably lost out on millions because of the situation. Gabriel's subs go up while Manny's and Laura's go down. Gabriel apologized to Jeffree in the video, and it is said that he did also apologize privately. Gabriel states that Manny and Laura had told him things about Jeffree that he had just believed. Nothing really happened to Nikita. It's crazy. Nothing really happened to Nikita, and look at all the stuff that she's done now. Again, we're in 2023. This happened in 2018. Manny put out another video after Gabriel's My Truth video. He apologized to Jeffree and Gabriel. He took a break. Laura also took a break. Her breaks actually didn't last long, about like a month or so. They returned, I remember, because I was again subscribed to Laura. I still am, and I actually remember watching her video that she did when she returned. Manny's return, he tried to do a docuseries, which was heavily criticized for being like Shane and Jeffree. And Laura's return, she deleted her original video. Probably good, but also we still have the iconic video. A lot of people downloaded it, and we still have it. And she admits she messed up, but I think I'm almost positive she interviewed a homeless person, or she did like something for charity, and literally she's never mentioned it since then. Never. So crazy to me, because how can you cancel 2 people out of a 4-person situation? Like, I understand Gabriel kind of didn't deserve it, so 2 people out of a 3-people situation. Manny and Laura lost so much. And what about Nikita? Nikita got no ramifications. She literally barely acknowledged this situation publicly. And she continued to be problematic up until her arrest. Remember that. She continued to be problematic up until her arrest. Able to grow his channel, and he was also a catalyst for Dramageddon 2, which is the 2nd episode of this series. So if you are planning to watch that, cite that here. Manny and Laura lost the most from this and still haven't been able to hit like they used to. their brands are still doing pretty good, but like I said, they've never really been able to hit. So they like how they used to with like views and stuff like that, brand deals like that, what they could have easily got before. Like I don't think they ever actually hit 5 million subscribers either again after this. So they really faced a lot of ramification, you know what I mean. But Nikita got nothing. And I just don't get it. Like, how can you cancel two people and then be like, oh, but like nobody else? Like Nikita is well, I don't know anymore, but Nikita was a problematic person in and of herself. I hope she's doing better, but who knows? Manny and Laura actually really did seem to learn from this. Jeffree Star was the victor in this. He was known as the career killer, the career ruiner, and he wore it like a badge of honor. He really became the face of the beauty community after this, and it turned it into a dark and toxic place. And Jeffree has always stated that he has dirt on everyone, so everyone knows to keep their mouth shut. Dramageddon 1 was the original downfall of the beauty community because it in turn gave a person who really shouldn't have been in charge victory and a platform, and he shouldn't have had that platform because he turned this community into a very, very dark place, and he used that power and victory that he got from Dramageddon 1 to start Dramageddon 2, thinking he could win, and it backfired, and we are going to talk about that in the next episode. But for now, I'm going to leave it here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye, guys.